Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. This is episode 39. This is also our 1 year anniversary. We made 1 year. So shout out to all our sponsors, guests, everybody that came on the show, everybody that watched, listened, tuned in. Also, shout out to Boy Band John, our producer. Without you, we couldn't do this. So I appreciate you. And I said it many times before. Thank you very much. 1 year, bro. We did this for 1 year, bro. That's insane. But thank you. That's crazy. It's our 1 year birthday. Okay. Shout out to our sponsors, Defend Hawaii. If you go on their website, defendhawaii.com, use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you receive 15% off your entire order. Go see Mr. Meheula at No One. Tell him Thaddeus sent you. Also, Detail Garage Hawaii, same thing. DetailGarageHawaii.com. Promo code ATBPOD, 15% off any kind of detailing equipment, waxes, polishes for your car. Go check out Kaika. Tell them Thaddeus sent you. And our newest sponsor, Hawaii Candy Factory. If you go on their website, order whatever you want. They got a whole bunch of crazy munchy snacks. Nerds. Lihimui, my daughter loves them. We take it all to the movies. They call it noms or whatever. It's super good. Same thing, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, 10% off your entire order. Okay, now this one's gonna be fun. I've been wanting to get this guy on for a while. He does some crazy stuff. He was one of our Taekwondo students back in the day. That's how I met him. I met his father and brother. He does a lot with dream analysis and kind of talking about dreams. He has his own YouTube channel called Lucid Explores. His name is Matt Chong. What's up, brother? How you been?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. Honored to be here. Honestly, I'm probably I've watched almost every single one of your episodes, maybe every one. And I'm very stoked to be here. Honestly.
Right on. Shit. Well, I'm stoked to have you, man. I knew you since you were in high school, and shoot, we used to try and beat each other up all the time.
You used to whoop my ass all the time.
Why does everybody say that? I did it with love.
All I would say is yes, your axe kick. When I would normally think an axe kick, like you can never throw an axe kick. No one does that in MMA. Nobody throws that shit, but your fucking axe kick would go like, you know what the worst part was? So we were in headgears, yeah, because we get kicked in the face and shit. The one spot with no fucking padding.
Oh yeah,
on the very top. And that's right where your fucking heel would go right on my head.
Oh, those are the days, man. I miss those days. We used to have a lot of fun. Training was good fun.
It throws my back out. Every time I kick hard, my back gets super fucked. So nowadays it's not like you could just get up and go. You got to do like jumping jacks, picky pineapple, stretches, and get really warmed up before you can start moving around again. Not like back in the day, you could just like, okay, let's go. Exactly, man. But we got kids, right? So when you're kids, I mean, well, your girl, she's getting close enough for go. I mean, I know she dances and stuff too, but you're going to put her in that? Because I really want to do it with my son, but man, I train her at home. I got to take care of my body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I've just recently got into a little more healthier situation. I had kind of a not so good lab work done, and it kind of forced me to take some changes. I dieted. I lost like 15 pounds. I start to see my abs again, which been hiding for like a decade. So that's kind of cool. But
at least
getting old, it sucks, man. I feel like I could still maybe move around a little bit, but I don't know if I could take punches or kicks to the face as well as I could before.
I don't remember you getting hit much, so I think you're good.
Yeah,
just hop around and drop them kicks, man. You fucking be fine.
So what have you been up to, man? Like in all this time, like I haven't spoken to you for a long time, and I see your YouTube channel. You do a lot with dreams, but before we get into that, what kind of work you been up to?
I've been just hopping around, I'm in safety now, which I kind of just fell into, but I mean, luckily, I love my employer and all of that and shit, but so I'm doing safety stuff, insurance. So, like if HIOSH, if you ever get the safety inspector show up on you guys, that's basically me, everybody's best friend. Huh? See these guys come in. Hey, have you been documenting your safety meetings? I'm that guy.
So it's more for industrial businesses.
Oh no, we do everything. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like basically, if you have more than one employee, if you're not self-employed, I mean, so work comp, right? So basically, we could be there. It actually was kind of a blessing, though. I kind of stumbled into it, and it actually helped me stumble into what I'm doing now with Dreaming, where I was never. I'm pretty personal. I'm pretty keep shit in to myself. I'm not really, I'm not one to make YouTube videos in particular, for example. But my job now, it has us going out doing a lot of safety trainings and shit like that. And so having to get comfortable with public speaking and all of that, actually, no kidding, pretty much helped lead me to the, to the YouTube videos and the shit that I'm doing now. So yeah, that family stuff too, right?
Yeah, that's always a thing. Well, from what I heard, like, I guess you went to Ronnie, one of our guys that was on the show, one of my close friends. You went to his company. And I got a call from one of his employees, which is one of my best friends, Frank. He said, hey, you know this guy, Matt Chong? He said he knows you. I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. He used to train with us. I say, oh, okay. But I guess you met them and did a safety training, and they had a lot of good positive feedback, which caused me to kind of look into what you were doing. And so explain to me Lucid Explores, like from someone who doesn't know anything about it, like explain to me this, because this is a very intriguing subject, and I got a lot of questions about dreams and ciphering it out and becoming reality and everything. So I want to know, first of all, what is it that you really kind of trying to accomplish with Lucid Explores, and what is Lucid Explores?
All right, so kind of to go at it from the beginning. So again, kind of coming at it from the work angle. So as I was getting into my current job, where we got to give safety trainings and stuff like that, work comp related things, we would see stress related claims come in, right, for whatever reason. And then around that same time, I was really, I guess I'll get into how I really started taking this practice seriously. I've been lucid dreaming for a long time before this, but I was really figuring out that it's a skill. Lucid dreaming is a skill, right? Basically being consciously aware of the fact that you're dreaming while it's happening. It's a skill that can be practiced and improved upon, right? Once I kind of figured that out, because I was just naturally lucky enough to have that, some regular cadence of them throughout my life, it really piqued my interest. And so I started looking for any way I could to throw it, just to talk about it, right? So I'm at work or doing shit for like fall protection or fucking, body mechanic stuff. And so I went to work. I'm like, man, like I really want to make one on stress management. And my whole goal when making that shit was to throw in, so mindfulness and meditation is a very key aspect of the lucid dreaming practice and all that too. But I was really just looking for a way like to fucking funnel in my real true interest into it. And so then when Ronnie them had their stuff, luckily, man, they booked me. They had a lot of training they kind of wanted to get done and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, they booked me for like 4 or 5 hours or something. So I'm like, I'm going to fill 4 or 5 hours, dude. And so it actually gave me the perfect opportunity to kind of throw in this training that I was working on at the moment.
So that was your first time?
No, I found other ways to work that shit in other ways. Okay. But nonetheless, it was my first time throwing it all together and, in like a 4-hour block or some shit. So that's so Lucid Explorers really got started from there. It got started from me wanting an outlet to vent it to, because, by this point, I was already talking the heads off of, my wife, my close friends, because I should say this too. One of the main reasons why I was so excited to be on your podcast and stuff like that, because you are kind of like, I feel like you guys are my peers. You know what I mean? Or like,
yeah.
If I go on YouTube or on fucking some other meetup.com, which is not a dating website. I know it sounds like one, but meetup.com is one where, I don't know, Google that shit. But you can definitely find people who are into the lucid dreaming stuff that I'm into. But, that stuff can get kind of far out there and go out of realms that I'm comfortable stepping into. Like, I don't know if that's real. When lucid dreaming is fucking real. People think it's fake sometimes, but it's real. So I was so excited to get onto yours because, I feel like I'm talking to my peers, getting a bit off topic. Where was I there? But yeah. So anyway, I talked my wife's head off. I started doing it at work when I could. in the stress management thing. And then that basically led into me making the YouTube channel and the Instagram page, I guess. Yeah.
All right. So what exactly is lucid dreaming and lucid exploring? Like, kind of break it down for somebody who has no idea.
All right, perfect. So lucid dreaming. So a lot of people have, I think if you look at some of the stats, they kind of vary, but at least half or more, I would say. Oh, have you ever had a lucid dream before?
Well, what is a lucid dream?
Oh, so just being consciously aware of the fact that you're dreaming while it's happening.
Like
maybe when you were a kid, like a teenager.
Yeah, or like remembering a dream or not. Oh, so lucid dream is when you're consciously, I think maybe in the stages of almost falling asleep to being asleep. I think around there I would probably know that I'm starting to dream and kind of.
So, that's actually key. So you're starting to see mental visuals, right?
Yeah,
like it's more than you just thinking. Okay, so that's actually called hypnagogia. But I don't know. I say hypnagogia. There's a lot of debate in the fucking. Look up how it's spelled. There's a G and an I, so I say hypnagogia. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But that's stage 1 of sleep. Okay, so in stage 1 of sleep, mental visuals and shit, to get a lot more visual, and that's a key aspect I would love to get back to. Maybe we can hop on it now, but that and lucid dreaming, they're separate, right? But they're also very similar. So hypnagogia happens in stage 1, just in 1 of sleep. REM is like later on. So you have like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4, which are combined into one stage nowadays. And then you have REM. They don't always go in that order, right? You don't always go 1, 2, 3, 4 REM. Sometimes you go like 1 REM as you get later into your sleep cycles, which are these 90-minute chunks. But they're similar enough in being aware, mentally aware in that sleepy state is the same type of mental muscle you want to flex when you're in REM. So like you being aware in hypnagogia, that's great because that means you're probably kind of used to being aware in that state, which can help you be aware in REM. So so a lot of people will have lucid dreams, maybe 1 or 2 when they're younger. They probably even have more than that, but they just don't remember them. Because you can have a lucid dream, right? And maybe a lucid dream could be something really small. Like maybe you just realize you're dreaming as you're waking up, right?
Okay.
But before you wake up, you're like, oh, wait, I'm dreaming. I see my visuals breaking down. I'm waking up. Or if something really weird happens, you'll be like, oh, that's strange. Like I don't, maybe you're at your childhood home. You realize I don't live here no more, right? That's like a very light level of lucidity, and it can go way beyond that. But so a lot of people have some different level of it. And then, again, I'm losing my track of my thought, but that's what lucid dreaming is. And it can go far beyond. So what else were you saying?
So from your lucid dreams, like what are you trying to capture from it?
Oh, well, in that sense, man, lucid dreaming can be so much. So I kind of think about it like this. When you have a lucid dream, at least in my head, there's like kind of 4 categories of what's possible. Okay, so first of all, and I guess I should just say this out front, it's basically like the most immersive video game imaginable, right? Because when you're dreaming, you think it's real life. It's as real to you as this is to you right now, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
It's the exact same thing. And you can kind of think about it like this too. So when you're out here awake in this waking world, you're looking around, you're not actually seeing reality, right? Your eyeballs are taking in light. You're seeing shit played in your brain, right? Your brain's giving you a representation of what is outside, playing it for you in here. And that's what you react and function off of. So when you're in dream, you could almost say it's even closer to you. If you just count your own consciousness as being it could maybe even be more real, right? Because it's closer. You cut out one whole step. So that's kind of where where all that shit lands. So why is it important, right? So I'm kind of thinking about it like this. So you have, first of all, when you're in there, right, you're in a dream lucidly, you can do whatever you want. You can fly. A lot of times people will have experiences of flying and be like, it really can feel amazing. What people don't always will say sometimes is sometimes it can feel like you're watching a movie and not feel that amazing. But nonetheless, you can have all that real life experience. You can do whatever you want. Another aspect of it is there's no real world consequences. Okay, so you can take that any direction you want to take it, but you can do whatever you want. A lot of these dreams will be as realistic as it is right now, and you have free reigns. It's a lot like a video game, man, but like even more so, right? It's like virtual reality freaking to the max. Another aspect, this aspect gets pumped up a lot, is that it can be used for self-learning or where like there's a lot of people who use it for, I've kind of used it myself for this, for like getting over phobias. So like there's times where I tried to work on, and I wasn't even necessarily doing this on purpose, but I found myself in like a public speaking scenario in dream, and I got lucid. And this is when I was really struggling with it for work. And then you can use that to try and, kill it and get a nice, good, mental rep in your head of you doing that. So there's a lot of documentation of that. It's used for music and art, tons of that stuff. So you had Tara, I think her name, yeah, like the dance hall.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much everybody you've ever had on, I don't say everybody, but a lot of them, because I listened to most of your episodes, I would go find them on Instagram and stuff when they shout out their shit. And so she posted this one post where it's saying, oh, she likes sleep all the time, or she like moi moi or whatever. I mean, it wasn't saying that, but it's like, oh, she really cherishes her sleep. So I wanted to reach out to her and be like, how's your dream life? Because you can actually use that to get artistic inspiration. And there's tons of documentation of that. Even like, this is going to be a big one, but like Einstein's theory of relativity. Okay. That's a big shit. You can go ahead and, so that idea, that concept came to him in a lucid dream. So you have all that, but the last one, and the one I like, and the one I think is most easily graspable for people who are into the practice, is any experience is available to you, right? So you can have, experiences of like pure love and shit. I know we might get into one of my best dreams ever here later, but you can really have some of the most amazing experiences of your life in dreams, right? And say if you have that in real life too, right? Say you had some religious, spiritual type experience, you won a gold medal, whatever, something like that in real life. You can have double, triple, quadruple that experience in dream. And to me, that's largely what I like to do with it. I just like to go have fun, meaningful experiences in there.
So you're telling me like you can it's kind of like you're a part of the dream, but you can control it. So if I decide to dream, like say I decide to be world UFC champion, I can control my dreams to put myself in that situation, and it'll kind of be like, what was that movie? The one
Inception, or Inception is the normal dream movie, but
or Total Recall. Like you're in you're in like exactly what's happening in your head, but it is a dream. That's what you're saying. I mean, so you can program your dream to play out how you want it to play.
You can. It's not always that easy. There's a lot of things that come into control and influence, and there's a big learning process. Like even just getting lucid is actually, I mean, it's a pretty difficult process, especially if you don't regularly kind of have them. Like if you have one lucid dream a month, that's kind of a lot. You figure every time you sleep, like I said earlier, sleeping these 90-minute chunks, you're having like 3, 4, 5, 6 dreams a night, right? So to have one a month is actually not bad. You can have many, many more than that, but it can be a kind of hard practice to wrap around, especially for people who are really trying to, get that gratification now.
I see.
The other thing is this though, man, like we sleep every fucking night.
Yeah.
You sleep your whole damn life. You got forever to practice. No rush, just fucking baby steps. Stay interested in the practice. And 100% going to have payoffs. You know what I mean? By the end.
Okay, so you kind of need to train. You got to train yourself how to do it and learn maybe kind of tools to get yourself into to be able to do lucid dreaming. So how would one start? Like, what would be the starting protocol, or how would you start to get to try it out?
Okay, so there's
I like try, you know what I mean?
yeah. Hey, man, I hope you try. I want you to try. You and BBJ need to try this. Everybody should try this. Like, so
I know BBJ likes to sleep.
There you go.
I don't know. He's always awake though. He's always.
Hey, this could also be good for, like, I know you party. You guys used to party all the time, right? People don't like sleep sometimes. It's like, I don't like go sleep. I'm gonna waste the night. Getting a lucid dreaming practice, especially if you have a good one, man, it's gonna encourage you to sleep more. You'll be like, fuck, I'm gonna sleep like 8, 9, 10 hours today because I want to. And because you want, I mean, then you'll do it a lot, right? And then it can really roll out. So I guess that's a good place to start.
Okay.
So one of the best things you need to do is to get more sleep. So I'll start off by I'll ask you this question. How many hours a night do you sleep on average?
I would say about 6.5. Average about 6.5. Yeah.
6.5. So that's like you want to wake up at 6, you lie in bed at 11:30, or you lie in bed at 11 and you try to fall asleep by 11:30?
Well, for me, I don't know why, but I developed a habit to watch TV till I fall asleep. So I'll probably turn it on about 10:30, and I'm dozing off about 11:30, and I turn it off. I'm good. So about that's how I get into it.
Oh, wait, no,
like I cannot just turn off every day and go sleep for some reason. I gotta wind down, or I don't know what habit that got me to do that, but I feel like I cannot sleep unless I'm watching TV and just kind of fade out that way.
Hey, that's a common thing. And I got one good practice for you, particularly if you like to do that can replace the watching the TV, is you watch the hypnagogia. You watch the stage 1 of sleep shit, because it comes on really early on. I mean, like, you give it 5-10 minutes, you could probably start catching some of them visuals, use that to watch yourself into sleep. So that can really help. But one of the main things you need to do for actual lucid dreaming, which happens in the REM stage of sleep, right, is you have to sleep long. So we sleep in these generally 90-minute chunks. So the first 90 minutes go something like this, which is why these stages have numbers generally. You hit stage 1, which is like the hypnagogic stage. A good hallmark of this stage is, and I should say this too, each of these stages are defined by dominant brainwave activities. They hook people up in labs with EEGs on their head. So they actually can tell, what stage of sleep somebody is in, right? So you really truly know when somebody's in REM and when they're not. But
okay.
So you go into stage 1. And then after that, you go into stage 2, which is there's a lot of kind of debate over stage 2, but I like to think of it as a little bit deeper stage of stage 1, where there still is some visuals. I feel like I have visuals in stage 2. Some people say stage 2 is a total blank slate, but I would disagree. But the hallmark of stage 1 is that you'll be in this quote unquote stage, lost in mental thoughts. Somebody wakes you up and you'll be like, oh, hey, I wasn't sleeping yet. I was almost sleeping. You weren't totally there. But you'd be like, shit, man, I was almost asleep. Why'd you wake me up now? Okay, so that's like stage 1. Stage 2, at least from my experience, is it's still kind of visual, but somebody wakes you up and you say you're sleeping at that point, right? Then you have stages 3 and 4, which used to be separate stages in their own right, but they combine them into one. It's the slowest brain waves of sleep. This is when you have what's typically considered dreamless sleep. From my understanding, something called sleep yoga. So there's an ancient Buddhist practice, because them Buddhists, man, they are on this shit. They've been doing it for fucking centuries. But so like a lot of times they'll say sleep yoga. So dream yoga in Buddhist terms is like lucid dreaming. Sleep yoga is one stage deeper than that. So sleep yoga, you can say, is like being aware in dreamless sleep. Typically like 3-4 from what I understand. Right. Then after that, you have REM, right? They're very dream heavy, rapid eye movement sleep. They call it that because your eyeballs are shaking back and forth in your head. And
like
actually,
literally.
Oh, literally. So if you ever look at like your kids sleeping, you've probably seen this. You'll see them lying down. You can kind of see their eyelids going around because their eyeballs are moving underneath their closed eyes.
I'm gonna look tonight, and
hey, you could see them. So that means they're in REM, and so you actually kind of do. So your eyes kind of vibrate and shake on their own, but you also are looking. So whenever you're looking in dream, right, your eyes kind of go that same way in real life, which is how they scientifically proved that lucid dreaming is a thing. Right? So they had these people in a lab, right? These proficient lucid dreamers, they're following their EEGs, so they know they're in REM. And then they had this specific eye pattern to look like left, right, right, some shit like that, right? Where normally you would not see that direct of a pattern done like 2 times in a row blatantly. And so many people over the years have proved this to be fucking 100% solid, right?
So wherever you're looking in your dream when you're in REM, that's how your eye is going to move in real life.
Yeah. And there's actual daytime practices you can do that kind of mimic that. If you remind me later, I'll come back to it. But so when you're in your first stage of sleep, the first 90 minutes, you maybe only dream, typically like they say like 10 minutes or so. Okay. Then in the next 90 minutes, you spend more time in REM. And then typically after the first 3 hours of sleep, you cut out stages 3 and 4, the deep, quote unquote, dreamless stage of sleep. And you basically just go stage 1, REM. So you'll go like, stage 1 for a little while. And then by like hours 7, 8, 9, 10, if you can get that many hours of sleep, you dream in like 45 minutes, hour plus of that 90-minute chunk. And you can actually have lucid dreams, right? Where you're in there playing your own fucking video game or however you want to think about it for well over an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of each part of the sleep cycle? Because like what if you take a nap? You're not getting REM sleep, right?
Naps are kind of different. So your body knows when you're going to sleep at night at your regular sleep time versus taking a nap. Other things you can do to kind of try and boost your chances of getting lucid. So there's a lot of supplements and stuff out there that we may get into. The problem with the supplements is a lot of them, the half-life on them, how long they're going to last, it's not that long, right? So if you actually want to hit your hour 6, 7, 8, 9, if you take it when you go to sleep, that shit's fucking gone and not working no more, right?
Yeah.
So you actually have to do this technique called wake back to bed. You wake up like 4 or 5 hours into sleep. You drink the lucid dreaming tea or whatever the fuck it is. And then you go back to sleep while it's still kicking in. And then that can hopefully help spur you on. But what you can do, this is great when you like to go out and party. So if you go out and you get shit sleep for a night, you got to hammer it the whole next day. You don't get no time to nap. You're going to dream heavier when you immediately fall asleep, right? So then that takes the typical, 1, 2, 3, 4 REM in the first 90 minutes, where sometimes you might go stage 1 straight into REM. Like you'll skip that deep dreamless sleep part and just start dreaming really early.
So what are the benefits to your well-being for each stage? Like say you're get woken up in REM, or you only can get 3 hours sleep, or like, where should you be in your sleep cycle to benefit you the most to when you wake up and say, okay, now I feel like a champ, or, oh shit, I didn't get enough sleep, or I didn't get good sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very good point. So typically when you go through stages 3, 4, the deep restful sleep, that's kind of the main sleep you need to wake up the next day feeling ready to go. So when you're going to sleep, typically speaking, the first 3 hours of actual sleep, now lying in bed for half an hour trying to fall asleep don't count, but the first 3 hours of sleep, or really the first 2 cycles, is very often you get most of your deep restorative type sleep in, right? So that's really important to get, which is kind of funny. I always thought this was a bit weird though, is because if you're sleep deprived and you only didn't get enough sleep, you hit REM earlier, right? Like I just said, so you don't hit the deep dreamless sleep right off the bat, which is strange, but that does seem to be the case. That's what the literature says, and that's what I've experienced myself. But where that really comes into play is with napping. So there's a way to do this hypnagogic nap, right? Which is where you want to stay in stage one. That's why a lot of times they'll say like nap for like 20 minutes. Have you heard that before?
Yeah,
right.
20-minute nap. Yeah.
Because when you're going to fall asleep, hopefully that catches you in stage 1 or 2, right? So you lie down. A 20-minute nap includes trying to fall asleep, right? So that includes a 10, 15 minutes of you lying there being like, oh, fuck, come on, sleep. When you're going to hit, right?
Yeah.
Then you hit stage 1. Then you set that alarm 20 minutes later to pop you up. And then you won't be as tired. Because if you sleep for like 30, 45 minutes, an hour, it's very likely that you might wake up. You know, you could be dreaming. I mean, it varies a lot, but it's very likely you'll be in deep sleep at that point. And then you're going to wake up feeling all groggy and fucked up and like, oh, dude, I got to go back sleep. So learning how to nap, man, it's been one of the key things that's really helped me, where you get this, if you get used to playing in stage 1 of sleep, the hypnagogic space, you can actually learn to stay there, right? Because you're there lucidly. So you go into stage 1 and you stay there. So you could take like an hour stage 1 nap of sleep, pop right up, feeling ready to go because you never sunk deeper.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's all mind control, right?
It is mind control, which is why generally a meditation practice is fucking key, super key.
So that kind of balances between meditation and sleep. Or
yeah, so totally. So meditation to me is just keeping focus. I mean, it can be said as keeping focus on something. So you have an object of attention, you stay focused on it, you don't forget it, you don't fall asleep, you don't go into unconscious sleep, right? So whether you're following your breath, or you're doing open eye style meditation, or you're doing hypnagogic meditation, right? Whatever it is, you find that object of attention and you hold it there, right? And as you lock it on it, you can act your attention will stay there, say in hypnagogic meditation, but your body will fall asleep. And then you can play in this like you can actually totally, this is no bullshit. You can see the moment you fall asleep. So you can see the moment I mean, sleep, like you lose conscious awareness. So you go from like hypnagogic stage 1. I think stage 1 and 2, literature says some of it says you're only in stage 1, but whatever. You'll see this one spot to where you're breathing, right? So you're aware of everything. You're aware of your breathing. You're watching this imagery where you can decide when, okay, right now, lights off, and you'll just blank out from there. I've always assumed that was stages 3 and 4. I've never been hooked up to the EEG to really know. Some other things, stage 2, but nonetheless, you can actually see that moment.
So you got pretty good control over your mind because obviously you can play your lucid dreams out in your head and you can control that. Can you do that on a daily, or like you said, once a month it comes to you, or like you can just do it whenever you like?
Definitely not on a daily. So to me, if I don't try, I've always, just generally speaking, since I've been a teenager and these started happening, semi-regularly, it's been about once a month or so. And from some of the literature says 20% of the population or so have that. The thing is, a lot of times for these lucid dreams, because they happen, when you're a teenager, very often hormones are through the roof. When you're in REM, right, you're already aroused, right? I mean, that's just part of it. When you're dreaming, you get a boner, girls are aroused too, right? So it's going to make everything that much more tempting. So what a lot of people get stuck in, they get stuck in this stage of wanting to fly and fuck everything, right? So that's all their lucid dreams become. And it becomes a roadblock to progression, I would say. Yeah. See, what's up? Totally.
Shout out to Ben in the background too, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Keeping his head back there.
Oh, I thought that was a boy. I thought that was like a young boy for a second. Okay, you're an adult. You're fine.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Wait. I got one more question. So as you're playing these things out in your head, you can control the actions of each thing in your head, right? So like you said, you could fucking fly or whatever. You could pretty much, it's like a virtual reality that you control, but it's like dreams to you, like you said earlier, is real. It becomes a reality.
Okay, well, first of all, it's actually not that easy. And I think sometimes, it can sound like it's easy. You run into fucking mental roadblocks all the time. You know what I mean? Because really when you're in a dream lucid, right, you don't have control of everything. It's like waking reality when you're in there, right? It's like you feel like you have your body here, everything else out there. Okay, so what is out there? What's making this environment? What's making the dream characters? Like, you can talk to dream characters and ask them questions, and you have no fucking clue what they're going to say, right? You can tell them, hey, show me where such and such is, if you're trying to find like a mirror to fucking look at yourself in or stuff like that, which can be very fun. So the cool thing about it is, what, this is kind of up for debate, but I'm very materialistic in my point of view of things. And when I see all this stuff, but I don't think I'm interacting with some fucking astral space being from another dimension. Maybe I am. Sometimes it seems like that, but my fucking default answer is probably not. Leave it open to possibility, but I'm assuming not. But what's undeniable is it's outside of your conscious awareness. Okay, so if that's what you want to just count as your subconscious, right? Outside of your awareness, you actually have literal visual representation of your conscious, of your subconscious, right?
Well, to be honest, like everything that you're seeing or interacting with is all in your head. So it's, no matter what, it's you. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not catching, like, you're not in one fucking alternate universe. I hope.
True. Okay. No, but point is, it's you. But man, your subconscious, I'm telling you, it can fucking trip you out. Like, you can actually have, godlike experiences in that space. Like, it can serve up, man. Whatever it is in there, which I would call your subconscious mind, that fucker is humongous. I mean, like, it is so much more powerful than you in there. So when you are lucid, you have control over things. You can help to influence and do stuff, but you are not the boss. You know what I mean? You could try to be the boss when it's really working really good. You kind of feel like the boss, but your big mind can swoop in there and smack your ass fucking flat in an instant, right? Everything you're doing is in conjunction with that. Like, one of the ways it became real obvious to me, this was one of the first times, is I was working on, I would say teleporting, but really it's just changing the dream scene immediately, right? So there's one technique where you can do that, where you want to work with your mental construct of the world, right? So one way to do it is you go to doors. So you're in like an office building, hopefully with a lot of doors. You could do it with the same door, but the problem is if it's the exact same door, you're opening and shutting. In real life, you're going to expect the exact same thing to be behind that door, right? It's one more step for your mental mind to accept. So it's easier if you have a lot of different doors all around you. So I was trying just to work on teleporting to a beach, right? So this took multiple dreams for me to get here. I was in like a mall setting for this one, so lots of doors and shit around for me to walk up to and try and open. And then also like, okay, I want to get to a beach. I want to get to the beach. I like surf. I like do something. Like, come on, get to a beach. So I'm just going down, grabbing doors, opening them, trying to anticipate a beach being there. Then I did it. It was a fucking beach, but it was like at night, no waves. You know what I mean? I wasn't in the water, never had one board. I'm like, okay, so thank you. My mind kind of gave it to me, but it's not really what I was anticipating.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the things you got to work with.
So is this the kind of same, I guess, not platform, but the same kind of realm you'd be in if you took magic mushrooms or a psychedelic?
In my experience, it's similar, but so
you did mushrooms before.
Maybe. So in my experience though, like, okay, mushrooms in particular they're not strong enough. I mean, you have to do. I've never done like you got to do like a fucking super dose of that shit. I haven't done that much.
Like a portabella
stuff,
kind.
Yeah, this stuff gotta like in dreams. You'll leave. You'll leave reality. So if you know what got me the closest to this is salvia. Remember, you ever heard of salvia?
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, they used to sell that shit at like smoke shops and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so when that shit was going around, it was at a party at UH, and one of my friends who like just fuck with me was like, "Oh, hey, we got salvia. It's in a bong. Rip them." And I was like, because it looks like weed, right? Normally,
yeah.
So I was like, shit. I never tried it before. I'm just gonna bong rip this thing full blast. Totally left reality. I mean, totally. There was like, I looked at my feet and there was like this checkered board shoot out in front of me that was like spinning around in circles. Kind of looked like that one Super Mario level, like the rainbow level.
Yeah.
Everybody in the dorm room was a packed party. It was all around it. Felt like I was melting into the seat and shit. But that's an extreme case. But I mean, that's more on the level of what dreams can really offer. Because mushrooms, you're still kind of in reality. I mean, but dreams can be that too. But dreams can also be fucking way more. You know what I mean?
So you kind of brought up like supplements to help kind of be lucid. Like for me, I used to take melatonin when we used to fight in the mainland and we had to reset our time clocks. But for some reason, which I did realize through Google, that melatonin for me would give me nightmares. So I would have nightmares every time I took melatonin. And that was to reset my time clock. But there are other sleep aids or supplements that you guys can use to put yourself in those situations so you can be lucid.
Yeah, so melatonin can work, although I've never noticed melatonin. To reset time clock, I see that making sense, but I've never taken melatonin and honestly felt sleepy. You know what I mean? Like I've never like, I gotta wake up early, catch an early flight, take melatonin. Now I'm gonna take like fucking NyQuil or something, right?
Yeah.
It's not like guaranteed to work. So in the lucid dreaming world, man, there's a bunch. A lot of like the older ones are teas. So like mugwort, which lots of times you see in like essential oils,
sleepy
like
time
that.
teas. Yeah.
So a lot of those can be mugwort, passion flower, blue lotus. Man, I've been working on a series, but I just don't remember the names of the teas because I bought them only once and kind of wanted to see how they worked with me. But there's a bunch of different, just type in lucid dreaming teas, you'll see a bunch of them. Okay, so the problem with those is, and some of them did seem pretty strong, like a blue lotus in particular seemed pretty strong to me. But, again, the half-life on them, they were strong early on. So hypnagogia seemed a bit better, but I wonder how they would work throughout. They got stuff like, so some of my favorites is time release B12, B6. I always get that one confused. But anyway, time release B6. And a funny side story is, so I've been taking the time release B6 for a fucking long time. It's one of the ones that I think works better. It's only slightly, it might be all mental, but the point is, it says time release on it. If I wake up at 4 a.m. and my head is still working, so that could actually play a big role in it. But so I ran out of my bottle for a long time, right? And I was like, I'll go re-up, grab another bottle. So I grabbed B12 on accident, okay? And then I was taking B12, I'm like, hey, this fucking shit's working again. When really it's turning a bit. So like the placebo effect in this place, in this dream space, is fucking humongous. Okay, so that cannot be overlooked. So the strongest one by far is something called galantamine. This is like an Alzheimer's drug. It actually is legit blocks some neurotransmitter that makes Alzheimer's patients or people forget shit. And so they found and that's the same chemical released in your in your head that makes remembering dreams so difficult, right? Because remembering dreams is hard because you're flooded with this chemical. So galantamine is probably, it's a straight up neurotransmitter, nootropic. So like they got like what's that Joe Rogan supplement that they always
Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain. So it's kind of
I take that once in a while for the podcast. Sometimes I'll take it for the podcast.
Man, try Alpha Brain before you go to sleep, or better yet, with wake back to bed. So if you wake up to pee normally, or just drink a lot of water, so you have to get up to pee, hopefully like kind of far, like 3-4 hours.
Oh, that's kind of a good idea before you go to bed. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Or so scary.
Yeah. So you drink the water, you wake up, you go pee. Then when you pee, you take the Alpha Brain and go look Alpha Brain up on Reddit.
Okay. I'm going to try that tonight.
It helped with lucid dreaming for sure. Okay. Fucking 100%.
Well, I know the biggest question is for my listeners, and I know it's gonna, if I don't ask it, I'll probably get people are gonna be mad. Weed. How does weed work into all this? Like, is that good for dreaming? Is it? It's not good for sleep.
Weed. Okay, so the problem with it too, the main problem. This is the main problem is fucking recall. So it fucks with your memory. So it makes your dream recall terrible. You're still dreaming. Everybody's gonna dream. A lot of times you'll see you'll see like people would say, I haven't dreamed in freaking. Anytime I see somebody say I haven't dreamed in like a decade, that is obviously blatantly incorrect. They're just not recalling that shit. But anyway, weed will totally tank that shit into the ground. But one thing weed will do is it makes your hypnagogic space fucking strong. Especially for me, a lot of times. So like if I'm one of the guys if I smoke it too much, I get sleepy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, if it's the first time I'm burning, so I'll go float tank and stuff like that, right? You go take a couple rips directly before hopping in the float tank. It's gonna help your hypnagogic imagery tons.
Oh, okay. I always want to try that. The float tank. That's where the water is your body temperature and it's total darkness and you feel like you're flying. Do they have that in Hawaii? No, but I wanted to.
Oh man. My boy Jeff, Dreamfloat Hawaii, dreamfloathi.com. Look him up. You get this spot out in Kahala.
Let's go.
Hey,
I'm down.
I could probably take you for free.
Yeah, let's go. BBJ, you want to go float tank?
Well, there's only one other tank, so I got to take you the other time.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so actually, you know what? I'm going on Sunday. You free Sunday morning?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
As long as Niners not playing. Yep.
We'll talk about this after. Cool. So if the other tank is open, if it's open, and that's kind of a big if, but if it's open, they have it available and the time slot's open. Generally speaking, I can bring first timers with me to go try.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I always want to try that. So for weed, if you're smoking weed, like I know for people it helps with like you can't sleep. Like if you have, what is it when you can't sleep?
Insomnia.
That's the one. I don't know why I can't think of it. Yeah. So if you can't sleep, a lot of people do it or take edibles. But like you said, it the dream recall. But does the quality of sleep diminish because of that?
From what I understand, yes. And from my own personal experience, it does. You know what I mean? Because you have to go your brainwave thing. You really want to go on this steady. You like people who have iWatches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fitbits and whatnot. That stuff can really track you a lot. So, I've never done it. Actually, I say this never having done it myself. I'm going to go by personal experience. If I smoke a whole lot or take a lot of edibles, I might sleep good or quote unquote good or sleep long. I should say I might sleep long, but it does not mean I wake up feeling sharp. Right. So what I would
too, like when you're drunk, right? You're drunk, you pass out, you wake up, you don't feel good. You don't feel like you slept good. You still tired. Like, I guess that would be kind of the same. But I know weed will help you fall asleep if you have insomnia, but the quality of sleep might not be as good.
Totally. Okay, from my experience, the quality of sleep is not as good. Similar with alcohol. Drinking alcohol, like a glass or two of wine. I mean, glass or two, I don't think would do shit. But, if you drink like a bottle or so of wine or a 6-pack of these motherfuckers, right? Like, you might fall asleep good, but, it will, once you wake up, or basically it messes with your sleep rhythm, right? So you sleep in these, you're not going to get the right amount of deep, restful sleep when you want it. maybe that shit comes later at night, which is why I was thinking it would be a nice experiment to try with one of them watches. Go get good sleep one night. Next night you like party, specifically see what the difference is. And hopefully you get the same, 7-8 hours of sleep in, but and then see what the difference is from there.
So what is a good time frame? Like, say, what would be not everybody can get a full 8-10 hours, but what would be the most optimal amount of time to be sleeping for you to get the most benefit for yourself or body? Right.
Okay. So it would have to be 7.5. Like I like to say 7, but like 7 plus. Like you don't want to go 6.5 is probably too little bit. Like 6.5 could work, but you have to count 6.5 for actual sleeping, right?
Yeah,
so
you
really gotta, if it takes you half hour or something to fall asleep, then that's 6. Or if you sleep for quote unquote 6, you really only getting 5.5. You're really cutting yourself short there by a lot.
Okay. I guess I gotta get more sleep. I wonder how much different I would be in the day, or how more productive, or what if I got more sleep. I always feel like I'm always doing shit, and then, okay, it's time to sleep. I'll go to bed and I'm watching TV. If there's a way I could probably shave off an hour and be asleep for that time, that might make a big difference in my life. It may not, but it is worth trying out. I guess.
What I would say here is, how good do you sleep are you watching TV on the couch or in bed?
In bed. Yeah, I'm in bed.
Okay. So you are in bed. I was gonna say, because how are you sleeping on the couch?
Oh yeah. That's like my sleep ritual, I guess, is to be in bed.
Oh yeah, nah.
At least you in bed. Watching TV. Yeah. And then I just kind of doze off. But
man,
oh shit, we've been going for about a fucking hour.
You gotta try that float tank.
I'm down for that. I always wanted to try it. I hear Rogan has it, and it's just something I wanted to try. Like, I don't know if I'll get freaked out in it, but I want to find out.
The thing is, if you practice that, like the whole hypnagogic nap, you can even do it. Do you have time to nap in the day?
Once in a while, I'll take a 10-minute. For one thing, when I nap, like I cannot, I cannot stay asleep long enough. My body will just be okay. I'm up.
Oh no. That's a good thing, because that means you're getting to stage 1 or ish, and your body or your mind. So that same mind kicking in, like your mind kicks in, wakes you up out of it. That's actually what you need to get lucid, by having your mind kick in. That's like you set the intention before you fall asleep. You want your mind to kick in later on and be like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? Let's get lucid right here. But learning how to hypnagogic nap will help your sleeping. I mean, at least it will help you fall asleep, where you might not need the TV. You could probably do like, instead of lying down at 10:30, whatever you said, you could just lie down at 9, find that mental space of the stage 1-ish area, watch that, falling asleep. And that also has the added benefit of being the same mental muscle as lucid dreaming, and then have more lucid dreams in the meantime.
That's kind of cool. All right, man. Well, we've been going for about an hour. I think BBJ can ask the question of the week. What I always have a lot of questions. Obviously, everybody must have, because fucking everybody got to sleep and they want to know more about it. So anyway, this episode could go on for hours, because I still get choke questions. Fucking. But okay, BBJ, what's the question of the week, man?
Okay, question of the week, Matt and Tad, is, what is the craziest dream you've ever had? And has any of your dreams become a reality?
All right. Now this can literally turn into a whole nother fucking side. So first of all,
let's hear it, man.
The craziest dream is pretty easy. I can answer that one. The problem is it's pretty long. I shared it on my YouTube channel. It took me like 10 plus minutes.
Well, so let's get the Cliff Note version.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Explain it, bro. Go do whatever you got to do. I want to hear it.
So I'll give you the clips, and it's kind of hard. It's hard to actually go ahead and pick one. It's like you have so many. It's kind of like in the episode you had with Golden Child, right? Where like you have so many old parties and shit you guys was starting that. It's just you fucking forget.
One big blur.
Can't even really remember. So I pulled this one in particular out from my dream journal. I was making this series on, I don't normally like sharing my dreams. And so I was like, fuck yeah, try share. I'm reading through, I'm trying to find something to share. So the basis of this one, the Cliff Note version is, it had the sense of a full blast standing ovation, right? Where like it was, we're like going to like, I'll say like the Disneyland or whatever of the dream world. And all these guys were like, there's this big parade. You're like, hey, come and I'm already lucid. Like, okay, what's going on? They're like, hey, this is a fucking show you can't miss, right? And so we get to this huge amphitheater. There's a spot waiting for me in the middle. And the main thing, even more than the show, because honestly, I can't even really remember the show per se. It was like, I got there and then immediately the sense I had was just the extreme version of eruption, standing ovation with a huge bunch of peers around you, right? It was just like fucking to the max. And then right after that, right, it got to this point to where I was like, oh, I miss my wife, Liz. I wish she could be in on this shit because she's not so much into the dreaming stuff as I am. And like I would. So anyway, I try to find her in the dream. That's for another story. And then I ended up like, I think the dream's going to end. I started seeing all these scenes of movies playing around me, right? Of movies like partway through. I'm like, oh, wait. My subconscious mind essentially telling me, okay, we got more time, no worries. And then I wake up into this, it's kind of like a false awakening, but I didn't know I was dreaming. So like I was in my room, right? And then I had my wife there with this other, with this other dream figure there. And they were just taking care of me. They were like, it was almost like I was getting like a freaking spa day or something. But the feeling I had was of pure maximum love and support of a best friend or wife, right? And then like an unexpected another. Okay, so and it was kind of an important difference between that, right? Of course, not of course, but wife, best friend, whatever, and then like an unexpected another of like I don't know, just a surprising support of something else wanting to help you out there. Then the whole thing changed. I had this God, I'm gonna sound fucking full, but it looks like this perspective. It seemed like a godlike perspective of zooming out over what I didn't know was like other worlds, other realities, potential futures. Who the fuck knows? I couldn't take it in. It was too much. I had these other dream figures who I couldn't see, but were with me. Were trying to explain it to me. And it was like these 10, 12 different things. It got all crazy. And then in the end, right, I have another kind of like false awakening into this other dream essentially. And it was like I was a baby, right? And so I'm over there as like a little baby looking up, and my younger son was relatively youngish at this age, not quite newborn, but still pretty young. But I'm very used to, as all parents are, shelling out that fatherly love. Like we love our children more than anything. But the weird thing is like, I mean, of course, it's no shade to my parents. My parents fucking love me. My parents, they're fucking awesome. Yeah. But like, I don't remember what that true newborn baby love felt like being shown to me, right? And it was just a random thing of like, I had no expectation to be here, but like I was this little child. I look up and I see this motherly face, and then another sibling. And me, I have an older brother, but the other sibling was a female, which was a little bit weird. That's why I'm not too much into thinking this was some real past life or whatever, but it almost doesn't even matter if it was a real past life forever because it was fucking impactful. You know what I mean? And I had there, and I knew there was a fatherly figure off that I couldn't see, and they leaned in to hug me. And I woke up like freaking teary-eyed. I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking beautiful.
So you felt love at its highest level.
Yeah.
That's why that was your best dream. That's
on a different level. It was fucking nuts, man. So that was really one of the most, and it happened on my birthday, which is also a little bit weird. I'm not one of these guys. That's kind of weird. Not one of these guys to think that would even mean anything. Okay, and then what was the other one? Like, have you ever had a dream come real?
Yeah.
No, because I don't think that's possible. But this is the other problem with that. I honestly don't believe it's possible. I mean, like I don't, but that could actually be like a mental hiccup or a mental block, kind of cutting me off. It's like with the out of body type experiences, right?
Yeah. Or deja vu,
astral travel, where like the community's kind of split, Okay, you got like lucid dreamers, kind of like the materialistic side, lucid dreamers here. You got the out of body experiencers, but out of body experience, I think, can go in lucid dreaming. It's like an out of body experience, and that's fucking important. The experience of it, right? Then you have the more like the astral travelers, where they think they're actually interacting with beings from other places and whatnot. And I don't want to dismiss them, because, you know, like, I want to encourage them to come here and look at the data and see where you land. I don't want to be like, that's impossible or whatnot. I like to keep it open, but those two sides are very split. And what I think the best thing is just to keep an open mind and see where you land. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I better stop.
Shoot, for me, I think the only real dream I had that I remember when I was little, and I had it a few times, and I still don't understand it, is I remember my mom, like, this isn't my dream. I remember my mom going to the supermarket, and me and my sister in her car, and she had a rabbit, you know, old school rabbits. And for some reason, I took it. We drove it. And I remember as a little kid driving this rabbit up leaky and getting pulled over. And I remember like getting super scared, like, oh, I'm gonna get busted, like it's gonna be bad. But I had that dream multiple times as a little kid, and it was the exact same thing. And then that's the only dream that I pretty much remember as a little kid. That's one of a few dreams I only really remember, but I remember it clearly. Like, I can see the steering wheel. I can see like my sister, and I remember driving, like, holy shit, I'm driving. Like, I remember the feeling, and then the feeling of getting busted. Like, oh, we're in some shit now. But that, to me, that's the only dream that I really remember. I used to have falling dreams too, but I would wake up and be like, oh shit. But
so falling dreams is hypnagogia. So that's a bit different from REM style dreams per se. But I would say for that reoccurring dream you had, at what point in the dream did you realize it was the same dream? Like right when it started?
No, it was like after through? When I woke up. When I woke up, I'd be like, oh shit, that's the same thing. Like, and it happened like multiple times throughout my childhood. And it's the same one, same car, same everything. And it would be like, oh shit, I dreamed that again. Like,
so that's actually the first way I had my lucid dreams. It was that, but it was a nightmare, which I guess getting busted by the cops is essentially a nightmare.
See that? Maybe that's a dreams came true. I got busted by the cops in reality.
yeah. But when that happened to me, is actually for me, once it would start, I knew it was it. I just couldn't wake myself up out of it. So I was kind of stuck in it, the whole time. And I would always end at the very end when shit got terrifying and crazy.
Shit, I gotta have you back, because I got a lot more questions, like nightmares and like even lucid dreaming. I want to know some tools that you can use to start being able to do that.
Did we not get it? We never did. Yeah. Man, hey.
Okay, well, give me some tools right now. Like, what would be like the abridged version, beginners like tour?
So this is actually very important. So I think this is something we really, really need to cover. So some things you can do. So first of all, wake back to bed, right? So that's probably one of the most powerful ones. So that's when you wake up. Now, hopefully this is only for people who can fall back asleep relatively easily, right? Like if you're the type of person who wakes up 3-4 hours into sleep, super tired, and it takes you, I would say, more than like an hour plus to fall asleep, this is probably not for you. But if you're anywhere within the like 10-minute group, then you're super lucky. But if you fall asleep within like 30, 40 minutes or so, then this could still work for you. The only problem is you got to really sleep with like 9 hours of sleep. So you can go screw off for a whole hour plus trying to fall asleep. Well, that's super key, because the key here is what you want to do is hopefully have your body be still sleepy enough to fall asleep quickly. Hopefully, but if not, have your mind be awake. So you get past the first 2 cycles of sleep. So you get your deep sleep done. That's the main thing. So hopefully your mind can be ready to kick into effect and realize you're dreaming. Another kind of subset of that is something that I actually like better than that, because I'm somebody who has a hard time. If I'm awake for like 20 minutes or more, I have a hard time falling asleep sometimes. So you can do this other one where it's like, it's a very quick version of that. So you put your phone next to you, you have it on vibrate, someplace where you can wake you up, but you can very quickly reach it and turn it off immediately. And the goal there is to wake up at some point mid-dream. So you want to wake up, turn it off, immediately try to remember back if you were dreaming. The only problem with that, and why this might need some help, is you'll feel this buzzing, think, what is that? What the fuck is going on if you're not used to it? Reach for the phone, and then that could be too much that you forget what you were dreaming. So this might take some repetition, but turn it off immediately, and then you don't got to wake up and stay awake, because then it says with the real wake back to bed method, you stay awake for 10 minutes at least. You want to try and really wake up your mental mind. But you can do this really quick version where you turn the phone off right away, try to fall back asleep, and then you're going to go through hypnopompia or hypnagogia. That's basically, hypnagogia is when you're falling asleep, hypnopompia is when you're waking up. Point is, both those states are very similar. So you get used to seeing the dream break down into hypnopompia, turn off the phone, or maybe you don't even see that part. But when you fall back asleep, hopefully quickly, you can see the hypnagogia kick in, and you'll fall straight back into REM. Then you're going to have something called a wild, which is basically like a wake initiated or wake induced lucid dream, where you go from waking consciousness straight into a dream, which is a whole nother topic and can be really some of the most profound experiences. That's where like a lot of the OBE, out of body type experience, astral projection crowd kind of live and thrive in, which from the lucid dreaming side, they all say it's lucid dreaming, but the astral projectors will say you're leaving your body and whatnot. But that real wild wake initiated lucid dream, mentally watching the transition from like awake to sleep can be a real trick.
So it kind of just takes practice then.
Yeah. It takes practice. Another great thing, and that's a standard there, is have a mindfulness meditation practice. Kind of the best one a lot of apps out there. So Sam Harris's Waking Up app, to me, is really one of the most straightforward, best ones. Headspace and stuff is really popular. 10% Happier is pretty good. But to me, I like Sam Harris's one the best. If anybody wants a free month, I can give you a free month, man. Go ahead, hit me up, and I can, it's just part of the app. Anybody who has a subscription can give a free month, but whoever wants a free month of that can send it out. And just getting that mental muscle of awareness flexed and worked out and in shape will really help your lucid dreaming endeavors.
All right. So like you said, how can people find you? You're on Instagram and on YouTube. What are your tags?
So Instagram is Lucid_Explores, because Lucid Explores was gone already. And then everywhere else, YouTube is Lucid Explores. I'm on TikTok, but like I don't do TikTok. I do my exact same 1 minute. I do my exact same YouTube videos broken down into a minute with no freaking fancy words pop. Yeah, I'm not doing none of that shit, but I have the exact same video. So don't go to thinking it's different on TikTok. Look me up on there. You can email me at lucidexplorers@yahoo.com. I should have got Gmail, but it's too fucking late. So it's fucking Yahoo. And yeah, man, here to help.
All right. That's super awesome. And you can always find us atbpod.com, Instagram, Above the Bridge Podcast. And of course, our YouTube, atbpod.com. Boyband John cuts this thing up, produces it, makes it all dope and super awesome. Of course, my Instagram is Daddy High, and you got to go follow Boyband John. He's going to drop his old school stuff. He made some new episodes of the 808 scene, which was a project he did back in the day. And I've seen clips on it, and I'm really excited for him to drop it. And I'm super excited and proud that you're redoing it again. And yeah, I can't wait till it comes out, bro. It's going to be cool. And we'll be pushing that. I got to get you on the show. I'm going to start a petition to make everybody make Boyband John come on our show. Yeah. But follow him. His name is BBJ8, the letter O8 on Instagram. And that's it, man. That was a super cool episode, bro. I got a lot more questions. I'm going to have you come back on pretty soon and figure it out, dude. I think we just scratched the surface on this. And it's something, like I said, it's something everybody got to do. Every person in the world got to sleep. So people want to know about their dreams and
Yeah,
shit.
man.
You're the guy.
Make use of that time.
Yeah, right on,
Yeah.
man. All right, brah. All right, shock us to the camera. Right on, and shout out to the Artist Group Network. We're out. Aloha.